What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have been active in the trade market, and based on reports, they're trying to get upgrades at the guard spot, particularly some athleticism, some perimeter defense, right, point of attack. They also need a backup center, and ideally a 3-and-D wing. But if they pull off any types of trades, right, because they need multiple guys. So if they pull off any type of trades, which luckily the Lakers are aware that they need multiple trades, you're probably going to need to fill a roster spot, maybe even two, because most of these big swing trades that you hear the Lakers talk about, they're going to have to send out 2-3 players to bring back one, and then now you need to fill out a roster spot. So if they do that, more likely than not, it's probably at the guard position because D'Angelo Russell is a guy that's probably going out. Gabe Vincent's probably a guy that's going out. If they do ever end up trading Austin Reeves is a guy that could potentially go out. You have Max Christie, who's another guard that could potentially go out, right? Like, more likely than not, you're going to lose probably at least two guards, if not more, and you're going to get a center and some perimeter, 3-and-D wings, and maybe you even get an upgrade at the starting spot, right? Like, let's say you get a Schroeder or a Bruce Brown or something like that. Well, you're going to have a need for that backup guard position in particular. And reports have came out that the Los Angeles Lakers are interested in Markelle Fultz. Now, Markelle Fultz is somebody that I've talked about as well as Elfrid Payton. He's somebody else that you saw with the Pelicans when he had that little stint. The only reason they waived him was salary implications. They want to get under the cap, right? They want to they know that they're not winning, they're not doing anything this season, so they want to try to shed as much salary. It's expected that they're going to make some type of trade, try to get under the tax. So we'll see how that plays out. But, Elfrid Payton, Markelle Fultz give you some quality guys. In particular, Markelle Fultz is somebody that I would really like to see. Now, he's still 26 years old, so he's still young. If he works out, you could have him for multiple seasons. He's going to be dirt cheap right now because he doesn't have any offers, it appears like. There were reports that it's not, because the big question is like, why hasn't anyone signed Markelle Fultz? He was really good last season. I mean, he had a very good season last year, and Orlando was just not willing to do it. Supposedly, he was suffering with some injuries, so it kind of scared teams away. Also, supposedly he has like some nerve issue, and it's what's like affected his shot over the years. So there are some reservations about Markelle Fultz. But for the Lakers that or even right now could desperately use a guy like Markelle Fultz, the defense alone would be massive, right? Like, he's the kind of guy that you're looking for Gabe Vincent to be, that Gabe Vincent hasn't been. Now, Markelle Fultz has never been like this lights-out three-point shooter, at least in the big leagues. In college, he was actually really good, but in the pros, he's struggled and been inconsistent with his three-point shot, but it's more so of just like value and potential upside, having that athleticism, having that point attack, still maintaining that youth. He's not 36, he's 26, and a guy that could really have an impact out there on the roster. I really like the idea of Markelle Fultz. You have to make trades, right? Can't sign him right now. But like I said, if the Lakers end up pulling some stuff off, end up doing some stuff here, it's very possible that, hey, let's bring in Markelle Fultz. It's low risk, high reward, which is what I like, right? And that's what you need. But kind of diving into the numbers, because we haven't seen him this season. But last season, played 43 games. Problem is him just staying on the basketball court. He has one season in which he's played 72 games. Outside of that, it was 43, 60, 18, 8. That 72-game season was back in 2019-2020. Then he played 19 games and 14 games. So again, health is a concern. Again, however, vet minimum contract, you're just looking him to come in and fill a role, and he's basically missed. By the time you get him on board, he's already missed half the season, so it's just like, can you just at least play the 40-plus games plus the playoffs? But you look at what he's done in those 43 games last season. He averaged 21.2 minutes. He only started 18 games, so he's used to coming off the bench even for Orlando. He shot 47% total from the field on 7.6 attempts. He shot 22% last season from three-point range, but only on 0.4 attempts, so basically half an attempt. He, for his career, is a 27% three-point shooter, but only on 1.2 attempts. So he doesn't take a lot, not a lot of volume, not a lot of sample size. But again, he's a guy that is primarily athleticism, getting to the basket, applying rim pressure, or operating in that mid-range, right? So that's what you'd be looking for him to do. From two-point range on 7.2 attempts, 48.7%. He is, for his career, a 50% two-point percentage scorer, which is good. It's what you need. And then EFG of 47.9%. He, from the foul line last season on 0.8 attempts, so not a lot of attempts, only shot 70%. He is a career 73% free throw shooter. But rebounding, again, in that 20 minutes of action, 3.2, assists 2.8, 1 steal, half a block, and 8 points. The previous season, he actually had 14, 5, and 4. So if he could kind of get back to that, say, 20, 25 minutes of action, kind of be, if he could be like 10, 4, and 4, like that would be huge. That'd be great. Again, like chances are, if you're pulling off some trade and you're going to get like an upgrade at the guard position, it's probably, again, a Schroeder or a Bruce Brown or a Colin Sexton or something like that. You're just looking for somebody to come in, fill a role that can just, again, like when those guys go to the bench, you can plug in a guy that can still orchestrate, run the offense, right? Be a screener off ball guy, be a guy that can slash, backdoor. Like you need those kind of guys, particularly just the athleticism, right? Markelle Fultz is incredibly athletic. He's an excellent athlete. And defensively, he is a guy that gets after it, right? So that is where I see the value in him, to just give you that size as well as just that defensive versatility, for a guy that can give you, multiple looks on the defensive side of things, right? Like that's what you want to see from Markelle Fultz. Again, he's 6'4", with like a 6'9" wingspan. So got good size, good length, can slot in at the point, slot in at the 2. So you could have, him in different looks, different actions. Again, it's not like if he was like on Orlando, I wouldn't be screaming to probably trade for him unless it was just like an add-on. But on a vet minimum deal to fill in a need, right? And just adding some freshness and some excitement, right? Like say you pull off, let's just keep it simple. Let's say you pull off the Nets trade. Say you do Dennis Schroeder, Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe, right? You trade a couple guys, and then let's say you turn Gabe Vincent in, or let's say it's not Day'Ron Sharpe. Let's say you turn Gabe Vincent into Valanciunas, and then you go get Dennis Schroeder and Dorian Finney-Smith, right? Boom. Let's say you have a need at the roster spot or to fill a roster spot, or let's say you tack on whatever, a Hayes or something like that, and you open up a roster spot. Well, now you could go and bring in Fultz, and then you just, again, you have, Markelle Fultz, a Max Christie. Now you got some size, some youth, some athleticism, right? 2 guys that can be defensively, shooting-wise, not great. But again, Markelle Fultz is a guy that can blow past the defender. He gives you a different look from all the other guards we have, right? He's a guy that can get to the rim. He's a guy that can defend. He's a guy that can operate in the mid-range, right? Like, he's not a guy that you want taking 7 or 8 threes a game, but you're also fine with that, right? Like, you just want him for his pros. The cons, you kind of figure out how to mask, right? Maybe you have like Connect or something like that with him so he can just kick out and all that, because teams will try to if you have like him, LeBron, and Anthony Davis on the court, teams are going to try to like pack it down. So you maybe get some shooting, especially if you can get another guy, if you do get Dorian Finney-Smith, maybe you have like Fultz with Connect and like Dorian Finney-Smith out there, right? So that way you have some shooting, spread the floor a little bit, and then Markelle Fultz can operate. Also, the value would be there for the playoffs, right? Because, yes, he doesn't give you the three-point shooting, but he's really good at operating and knocking down in the mid-range. And when you get to the playoffs, right, extra point of emphasis of closing out hard on the three-point shot and protecting the paint, right? Teams usually, push hard, attack hard at the three-point line, really run them off the three-point line, and then also try to pack the paint and defend the paint. So usually the mid-range is very vacant in NBA playoff games. And it's why I've talked about, look at teams that advance year in and year out. All of them have multiple guys that can knock it down from the mid-range, right? Like Dallas last year, they had Luka, Kyrie, right? Yeah, PJ Washington, right? They have guys that can knock it down from the mid-range with a level of consistency. Even Boston, Tatum, he loves that kind of mid-range operation, the little elbow shot, right? Like, you have him, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Kristaps, you name, their entire roster they can shoot threes, but they can also knock it down in the mid-range if you chase them off the three-point line, right? Usually these guys have a big impact. Also, Markelle Fultz, just a guy that I think can, again, just give you different looks out there. And even from a playoff perspective, right? So he doesn't have like a ton of playoff games, but like 2023, 2024, played in 7 playoff games for the Orlando Magic, 15 minutes of action, shot 58.8% from the floor on 5 attempts per game. Threes basically non-existent again. Shot 60.6% from 2-point range on 4.7 attempts. EFG of 58.8. Free throw line again terrible, 56% at 1.3. Again, he's a guy that struggles to shoot the basketball. 2 rebounds, 1.1 assists and a steal, average 6.4 points. But again, he did that on essentially 60% shooting, right? So if you could get something like that, again, you're not looking for a guy that come in and give you 20 and 25 and 5 off the bench. It'd be great, right? But realistically, you're looking to kind of just upgrade the athleticism, upgrade the defense, point of attack, right? Can multiple guys, like, can Fultz get you, like I said, 8 to 10? Can Christie get you 8 to 10, right? If you keep Christian Wood get you 8 to 10, right? Day'Ron Sharpe or Valanciunas get you 8 to 10. Right? And now you start collectively, and it's like, okay, between the 3 to 4 bench guys, we're getting 40 points or 35 points. Now you're just a better quality bench. Now the starters have less pressure. Right? That's how you're kind of trying to look at it. But again, I like Fultz. I think he's worth a shot, especially again low risk, high reward. Bring him on, give it kind of a prove it deal. Not like there's a ton of better options. I mean, Elfrid Payton isn't this like lights out 3-point shooter either, but again, it's about what's available. And these guys are available for various reasons, right? Like they're not available because they're these like superstar players, and so you kind of take what you can get. I like the idea of Markelle Fultz. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Markelle Fultz? Do you hate the idea of Markelle Fultz? You kind of mix, split in the middle. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it either way, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.